Hello, and welcome to my Fire Emblem 15 ETC playthrough. I'm USS Gordon Captain, here with,
Jumpy 23.
Typhoon
and,
Carter.
1776.
and we're doing the long and boring section known as Cleaning Up Act 2. So, there's a lot of side quests to do in Act 2, clean up, because this is efficient, and therefore I need to go through everything. Very first thing we're doing here is we're getting the Cheese Lover, and we're giving him two items. The first was the Holy Cheese. For Alm, the Holy Cheese is a cute item for the little girl in Luthier's village. Therefore, I need to give the Holy Cheese one from Celica. The blue cheese is given to Celica so that Celica can use the medicinal syrup to hand to the lady in Milla Temple. I also got the Iron Shield and the Steel Lance. The Iron Shield will learn Shove, and Shoving is extremely important in Celica's route for saving turns in desert maps before you're supposed to get it. You have a Rusted Shield, but unfortunately you can't derust that shield until way too late. The Steel Lance is for Paula. It will be turned into a Silver Lance. Here we promote Leon. Leon's promotion is fairly weird because he has base speed hot. He has high enough base speed. Unfortunately, he didn't grow enough any speed during his level ups, so he's going to need to get the Pegasus cheese. Here, Leon needs to get one strength well because he needs to have a strength well in order to one round archers in Beaufort 100% of the time. And then May gets a strength well because on the next map she needs the strength well so she can set every enemy to the exact HP thresholds I need in order to get a 2-turn with Jenny getting a kill. There, I just got the Steel Shield for Celica. The Steel Shield is necessary because I need that to 0-turn Dragon Shrine. Yes, they heard me right, 0-turning. Here, I got the Fruit of Life for Conrad in Duma Gate, and now it's on to Seabound Shrine.
Yeah, we're going Necro Dragon hunting.
The Fruit of
Based.
Life was the follow-up to the side quest that Alm started much earlier, where you have to kill 10 bandits. And Celica's allowed to pick it up, even though Alm's the one who starts the side quest for whatever reason, which is helpful.
Celica can pick it up because she kills brigands in the boats, and that gives her enough kills.
Right.
Because the game accepts that conditions, as long as you fulfill them, it doesn't matter who begins the side quest.
What great game design.
Okay, here I need to set up a swap for May so she can enter the forest tile. May needs to dodge exactly one of the two Necro Dragons hitting her, and being on the forest tile means that happens 75% of the time. The other thing is I need to make sure every single player unit is out of range of the Necro Dragons, so that way they don't target anyone other than May, because May is the only unit that has good combat.
75% of the time doesn't sound efficient, but remember that we have 5 turn wheels, and this map is very, very short, so we can basically blow all of them however we please.
Okay, so there I moved Jenny. What I should have done there is done Jenny's invoke, but I screwed up and didn't invoke with Jenny. If Jenny had used invoke, Jenny would have unlocked the turmoil lock, and May would have been able to use 5 dodges at 75% chance instead of 1 dodge at a 75% chance because of turmoil weirdness. So here we're trying to set up kills for 2 units. The only 2 units that are good experience point targets are Jenny and May. Jenny needs as much experience as we can get her because Jenny's experience is bad. So the reason I needed to get the strength proc was specifically for this encounter so that enemy would be left at exactly 1 HP. The math on that is kind of fun.
Yeah, it is a good thing that in this game, the minimal damage at all costs has to be 1. Even if a unit would have done 0 damage if the formula was the same as other Fire Emblem games.
So, bit of optimization. I give May talks to Bowie, and has 85 accuracy on this aura. So that's Seabound Shrine completed in 2 turns, and now it's time for grinding May. So you may notice that May has 85 EXP, which is just shy of the level 11. She'll need to be level 11 because she has a golden apple and 2 EXP walls from Seabound Shrine, which will let her promote to priestess before Act 2 is over. So Thief Shrine grinding is not going to be very interesting. We are going to be teaching Bowie Shove as much as possible, and Jenny is going to be fed EXP. Other than that, there's not many units that need to get anything done in Seabound Shrine in particular.
This might be a decent time to bring up that shove is extremely excellent, and we've probably talked about how swap is great before. If everyone could use shove instead of swap, it would be absolutely broken. One of the big limitations with swap is that you need to be holding either the Sanyan or the leather shield to use it, and you can't like trade chain it. But with shove, you can shove a unit forward, and then someone else can take their place, grab your iron shield, and shove again. The problem is it takes 10 combats to learn, and you don't get an iron shield until very late. So it's extremely hard to get anybody shove in time.
I'll be trying to get Shove Celica and Shove Bowie. Celica is actually extremely good at using Shove. And Bowie is okay at using Shove.
Yes, it's a good way to make use of units that would otherwise not do anything at all.
Swap
Half a radiance moment.
Swap would be better if you had infinite leather shields, because the primary reason we use shove actually comes down to the fact that there's not enough leather shields, so we have to find other extra shields. There's a rusted shield, which means you have an extra iron shield, and there's the fugue shield, which doesn't come until way later though, and that only lets you use swap, but you can't use the fugue shield swap in Act Three, and
Act
Act
4.
4. Yeah, because you have to give it to the Lord Fugue for the Golden Apple.
And of
Here,
course, there is the Sanyan, which we forge much later to give us extra flying swap. Only pegs and armors and cabs can use a Sanyan, and of those three, only pegs actually like use it. But it is another swap source.
here we need to grind Jenny. So Jenny is an extremely important unit investment wise. You may think that Jenny is sort of a weird unit to be investing all this EXP into. Um, because Jenny has iffy bases. But Jenny needs all this EXP so she can learn Physic before Beaufort. And Jenny needs Physic to learn both before Beaufort because Leon is going to need to go burr extremely hard in basically every map from Beaufort until the end of the game. Unfortunately, there's no healing items in SOV except for ones that are equipped by your lord. Sorry. And your lord in SOV is kind of a mobile convoy, but you can only have one item slot, so you can't have a healing item and have a killer bow, so you have to use physic a lot in order to heal Leon. So that's sort of her best usage. She's essentially going to turn Leon from a kind of not very bulky but powerful one rounding machine into the most powerful one rounding machine in the history of Fire Emblem.
It's funny to think about how SOV's unique mechanics come together to make the game like more solo-y in some ways, but less in others. Like we wouldn't use Jenny probably if Leon could just hold a vulnerary. We certainly
Yeah.
wouldn't use Bowie if it wasn't for you have to use him 15 times to get shove and swap.
Yeah, or you wouldn't use Saber at all if it weren't for the fact that Saber has to be used for one stupid map.
Right.
Or better yet, you could equip the Iron
Man,
Shield to
pain.
Leon at the same time he's equipping the bow.
So then
One
Certainly
inventory
unique.
limitation's
here
bad.
is
Confirm,
coral
guys.
grinding. In coral grinding, we need to get 4 coral to give to Alesso. The coral is going to be necessary to forge help us forge a javelin, a silver lance, and the iron shield.
And respectively, those things are mostly used for killing witches in Sonia's map and then getting evolved. Killing various things with pegs, most notably fiends with Vanish on Paula, and then using May for all sorts of things.
And getting a second source of shove. We don't get a second source of swap until we get the Saunion, which we can forge using S javelin in her prison cell. But we get a second source of shove quite early. Unfortunately, it doesn't let us grind shove, but it does let us learn shove.
Yes, unfortunately, it comes with the price of wasting time cutting the grass.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
this guy needs food, and we need to feed him for, again, more money. He's weird in that even though he's a beggar, he's a chooser as well. So that's kind of funny.
That was a pun.
Man.
So I'll comment on that.
Wow.
I mean,
Are
that is one of
choosing
Matilda's
beggars.
quotes. That reminds me, does she ever see use in this playthrough?
Yeah, she will.
Oh, that's good, because I heard she was the best unit in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Matilda
This
is the
Clive
only
guy was
reliable
kind of
Rudolph
shitty
killer
too,
as of
but I
2017.
don't know about you guys.
So gotta keep
Instead
that
of-
in mind.
Instead of looping your Dreadfighter.
Wait, my clock
Damn.
says 2021.
Okay.
Big reveal.
Wow. Who saw that
So we
coming?
need to give the experience wells to
Fire
May
Emblem
in
Heroes
order
was
to
like
get her
just out
experience.
around this time too.
The other experience wells are resistance, and there's HP. So HP is best given to a fully promoted unit, which is to say May, and then resistance is going to be best given to Leon. So Mecha has a video on Fire Emblem Pitfalls called having units.
All right, I'm gonna interrupt here. Jump scare warning. If you scare easily, look away. All right, back to your spiel, Gordon.
Oh yeah, the guard.
Ah!
Yeah, don't scare. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Well, the video doesn't have
Damn.
audio, so you don't hear the gargoyle screaming.
Metal Gear.
yeah, so that's a limitation of
Yeah.
of the software you use.
Metal
called
Gear
NTR Viewer,
Emblem. Let's go.
which thankfully has nothing to do with actual NTR.
Except for when you're recording phase support conversations.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so
Or like any half of the Fate
Mecha
supports.
has a video on
Probably.
Fire Emblem Pitfalls called
That
give
booster
boosters.
investment.
Yeah, staff booster investment on units. Unfortunately, turns out Fire Emblem Pitfalls is wrong
Yeah.
in every regard when you're actually an elitist LTCer. Experience distribution, basically the whole game.
Yeah, and in this case, we're giving Leon the
Mood.
resistance wells, even though his resistance is very low. Because he's the only unit who's ever gonna enemy phase magic enemies.
Although you might want to give only two of the resistance wells to Leon. One of the resistance wells to Leon, since he gains res, since that would let May be more likely to one-shot Jetta without needing a lucky HP proc. However, we can just ignore that and just have May kill Jetta because May has an insane strength.
Yeah, it's also a good thing that Leon gained a resistance proc in the previous video.
Yes, this will let Leon survive a Arcanist in the Temple of Milla as a Bow Knight. Normally, you have to either rig a Mire dodge, or you have to or you have to avoid a Typhoon. Are you talking?
No, I think it's my fan. Like it's like
Yeah.
playing
Yeah,
a
you
little
can
bit
hear
in
the
the background
feedback.
because it is
Let
kind
me
of
know.
hot.
But
Yes.
Oh, here.
Thankfully, nobody cares about this video.
not
Speak-
very loud, and yeah, skip this video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you gave the HP wells to May.
Yeah. So May is a fully promoted unit, unlike other units. So HP is nice for her.
Right, Leon could definitely use the HP, but when he hits Bow Knight, it's all going to be like wasted, quote unquote, investment. And Fire Emblem Pitfalls don't worry about wasted investment, but we're elitist LTCers, so
Also, Leon doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Sophia Harbor
Mecha
is
fans in
not very
shambles.
important, thankfully. There's Alesso guy here, and we're gonna have Paul and Kasia. So, Juan, how good are
right, say hi and then bye because they don't join us here.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Paola and
unfortunate they
Katua.
don't join us here. We could really use their help right now.
Yeah. I don't know who this Paola and Katria
yes.
lasses are. I only know
Paul
a
and
Paola
Kasia,
and a Katua.
well, now's a good time to talk about them. They're like okay units. They're like decent combat wise, not great combat wise, but since they have flyer utility, they're very good.
They get to do things after turn 1, which isn't something you can say about most of Celica's units. They kind of just swap turn 1, and then they sit around twiddling their thumbs while Leon kills everybody. But the Flyers actually get to do things like every turn, which is, better than most.
Yes.
There are a few units that get to do things after turn 1. Your shove bots actually get to shove twice
Yeah.
on turn. Get to shove once on turn 2 as well.
Right.
And your
Yeah.
your villager your mage, who's not a villager, your invested mage is kind of like a villager. May in this case will be able to one round everything because she has a sword, and it's a bulky villager.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
big brain play. Because female mage uses swords on enemy face. In Act 2, it is pretty bad with Celica because there aren't strong weapons she can use, but Act 3 onwards, you can forge a strong sword and not worry about that. Oh,
So we're
look at
just gonna
that.
dip a bit into
We're at Act
Act
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to do one thing in Act 3 before this video ends, which is invest
Whoa.
one Speedwell into Python. That Speedwell exists in sort of a superposition of 5 states, where it can exist in Clive, Python, Leon,
Man.
May, or Tobin, depending on how exactly HP procs go out.
Yeah, it is incredible how many units funded speed, but only one of them can get it.
Clive is probably the best user of his one Speedwell, but then Python's probably the worst user of speedwells, but we're giving it to Python because Leon missed his speedwell threshold, which he would need 1 speed to get the speedwell, and May missed hers, which she would need 13 speed to want a speedwell. And since she didn't hit 13 speed, instead we're just going to give her an iron shield and have her get doubled by mercenaries in Gria Citadel. Sorry, 14 speed. Okay, so the
Right, she was 1 short. She was at 13.
Well, in the case of Clive, he's gonna be fine.
Pain.
And now I'm just picking up the Writer's Bane, which is going to be nice for Clive. And then looking around at the pretty pictures. It's typically
Very nice.
This is where all the budget
Really
went.
works of God.
Yeah. It's typically easier to
Yeah.
get the investment to do the picking up like this rather than trying to pick up all your items in Alms Route and remember which ones you don't want to pick up for Celica. Instead, just pick up none of them and then have Celica pick hers up later. All right.
Kind
now
of
we're
ends up
back.
being 6 one way, half dozen the other, but
All right.
Yeah.
That was the boring Act 2 cleanup phase. I'll see you guys next time for Act 3, where you get
an
to have
actual
fun.
combat.
Oh
Very
my.
nice. Whoa.